What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. Hey, guys, come on in. I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you can hear the sound of my voice, please go ahead and drop your city and state in the chat so that I can make sure that my volume is working. What up, everybody? Hey, Cookie from the Shy. Hey, JMD Wright Veronica. What is up, Mama V? Come on in, you guys. Thank you so much. All right, I see you guys. I see Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia. What is up? Atlanta, Pennsylvania again, Dallas, and New York City. Hey, Albany, Mississippi, Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Come on in, guys. Thank you. All right, Houston, Delaware, Atlanta, Louisiana, Philadelphia, PA, Philly. What is up? All right, guys, we're going to get it started because I was just a little bit late, but I appreciate every single one of you for coming in. I see Canada, Fort Myers. I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming in. Thank you to my mods. Sometimes I forget to thank y'all. I try to shout y'all out at the beginning, but I appreciate all of my mods, okay? So if you see anyone with a purple wrench behind their names, please just, pay attention, keep it cute in the comments. Don't go after each other. Everybody is allowed to have an opinion. You don't have to agree. Opinions is what help keep, things moving. You might find out something you didn't know before. So go ahead and make sure that you guys are respectful in the chat. We're going to get it started. 206 of you are watching. Please make sure that you hit the like button, that thumbs up button, please. I appreciate it. That helps me and the algorithm so that people can find this channel. Because, a lot of us do Love and Marriage Huntsville content. Okay, so let's talk about it. I hope you guys have been following the Kiki and the Scott family drama, right? Last night, she did an interview with Anthony Lofty. Shout out to him. He was able to sit down with her and ask some of those burning questions you guys have been asking about episode 22, hell, about episode 21 and 22, actually. And then also the drama that's been going on since May, earlier this year, May. And here are my initial thoughts when I heard the interview. I already told you guys that I definitely thought that Kiki was, missing her family, okay? That she was hurt when, Tisha had, gave her the boot. So she really wanted to make sure that Tisha believed her. And all I could hear was the Missing You song, okay, by P. Diddy. Y'all know the one that he was singing to Biggie Smalls. All I could see was this dance when Kiki was talking last night. I kept saying, well, damn. All of that yip yap she was doing about F Tisha, this person's dead to me. All of the family talking about, Wanda talking about, she dead, she ain't my niece no more. She came on strong, but she ended with, I love everybody. I love my cousin-in-law, right? I love my cousin-in-law. I love Tisha. And if they would apologize to me, which she was, at that point, she was extending an olive branch at that point, saying that, I miss them. We've been through some things. I love them. And she said at this point, she can't wipe them out of her life. So that's important. And the reason why that is important is because sometimes when we're watching these shows, we have these really hard and fast, she's never going to talk to this person again. She's never going to deal with this person again, right? Hey, everybody. She's never going to deal with this person again. Let me make sure my camera is right. I feel like I'm way too close. But the truth of the matter is they're human and they still have feelings. Things happen. We're not robots. We are not robots. We may say words, but those words don't always match what we're truly feeling inside, and they don't always match our actions. So when we say never, ever, 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 sometimes it can mean, yeah, till tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So, any hoot, if you had an opportunity before we even get started with this conversation, because I know a lot of y'all have things to say, but before we get started with the conversation, if you watched the interview, put a 1 in the chat. If you didn't watch the interview, put a 2 in the chat. I'll give you guys as much information as I can, and then I'm going to give you my takeaways from that interview, okay? So what's up? What's up? Welcome, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Okay. Right now, we have an equal number of 1s and 2s. So, okay, 1s and 2s. So if you've been following the drama, again, I think this started like mid-May of 2023, earlier this year, while the cast was still filming part 2 of Love and Mirror Huntsville, the season that we're watching right now. While they were filming that season, this is when everything hit the fan on the internet. It was all over the internet, by the way. It was on YouTube, of course, the platform that you guys follow. It was on Twitter. It was on TikTok. It was on Facebook. There was stuff that was behind the wall for Anthony Lofty's that had escaped the behind the wall. But at that point, it was just all over, and there was all kinds of conversations being had. Wanda, in particular, Tisha's mother, was going after Kiki really, really hard. She was saying horrible things about Kiki, horrible things about Kiki's mama, whatever the family secrets are, whether it's true or false. She was spilling it every time she could. She was, and it was nasty. At one point, I think Kiki had brought her dad onto one of the platforms, onto someone's platform, okay? And yeah, it was just bad. Bottom line is, it was bad. But it all came about, from what I could gather, okay? From what I could gather, let me see what you guys are saying. You guys are writing some books in this in the chat. Someone said that Kiki needs to get off of methadone. That way when she talks, she repeats herself. Okay. Kiki will never be better because according to the scripture, a double mind man is unstable in all of his ways. In one sentence. Okay. So listen, this is something that just happened. And I want to say this too. If you are human, if you are breathing air, if you have relationships with, husband, children, family, friends, you've experienced something that had you, kind of going back and forth with that family member, with that friend. Kiki is still in a very brand new stage of this relationship breaking down the way it did before all of us. Her and Tisha may have back and forths back in the day. It didn't happen in the public eye. And so we have to keep that in mind too. The stuff that's happening in public, the way it's happened, is going to move different. And that is why I said in my review the other day, Tisha and Kiki may have very well moved forward and mended that relationship. But unfortunately, because it's playing out in front of the public eye, and because both of them are also paying attention to, social media, they're putting information on social media, it's going to change how they operate. That is why it is really important to pull yourself back from things so that you don't allow outside noise to affect what God is telling you, because that outside noise can be really, really loud. One of the things that I respect and appreciate about Melody, and I do this too, period, when something is going on that's serious, you need to pull away. You need to pull away from everybody giving you advice, and you need to listen to what is true for you in your head and in your heart, because people will paint a picture for you that may not be the truth, but you'll jump on it because it feels good, or you think that that's the best way to present yourself to the public. Like I said, Kiki started off real strong. Like I came to you guys yesterday and I was telling you, she was posting things on the internet. She had made this comment about Marsau not picking her up at 2 a.m. She said it never happened. She was like, I was the one taking care of your kid when your wife was at work and you were in the streets because you didn't want to watch your child. She said, me and my husband were doing it. And then she said, with your lying ass, it went on. You know what I'm saying? She's calling them names. Said that Marsau's walking around with stage 4 diabetes. She called him Mar bitch, just like just like her aunt. She was talking about, putting Wanda in the middle. Marsau, stop lying. I see you taking a page from your mom-in-law. You know damn well you and Tisha's never done shit for me. Be real. People who believe you are blind. And then I don't know if she was paying attention, but like I said, sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, you just say things. But in the interview, she actually says, well, he did pick me up at 2 a.m. There was one time where he picked me up at 2 a.m. where I had left my home. My husband had taken my keys. I was a hothead, and I called him because he was working at the movie theater. And I said, hey, can you pick me up? Can you get me a hotel room? And Marsau called his, hey, everybody in the chat, I appreciate you guys. Marsau ended up calling her husband, and the two of them came to pick her up together, or at least confront her together to get her back to a place where she was good. Like I said, sometimes when these family dramas play out in front of everybody, you're just quick to say that didn't happen, or you want to explain yourself when you hear people say things that you think is a lie. But there may be some truth to it. Clearly, there was some truth to it. However, she thought she heard Marsau say it. She was like, that's not true. This is how it actually happened. Hell, Marsau might have been speaking about that incident exactly. And there may have been something else that she forgot. Who knows? We don't know. We don't share their history. We don't share that background, right? So we have to keep that in mind and just give them a little grace. We're watching this play out. Okay, we're watching this play out, but it is what it is. Someone said you have to, her story hasn't really changed. Her story about the makeup artist has not changed. It's been exactly the same, I think. For people saying that she has to let family go, I also want to remind you guys, some of y'all may relate to this, some of you may not. But I remember KeKe telling a story where she said she didn't know her father, right? It was her grandparents, her mother raised her. And she said, I didn't get to see my family until I think she was like her dad's side of the family until she was like a teenager, maybe preteen. And she said that she used to sneak across the tracks or whatever. And I'm not even being funny when I say that. I think that's how she told the story. Sneak across the tracks. And she ended up meeting them, and how whole she felt when she was able to bring some closure to that part of her life, not knowing her dad. Now, imagine having that experience, not knowing who your father is, all of a sudden, seeing this man, falling in love with him immediately. That is her words. I fell in love with him the second I saw him, the moment I saw him. And then seeing people whose faces look like your face, whose skin look like your skin. If you understood what that feels like, again, you would give some grace here. Telling her to just sever or cut things off, it's hard to do that when you've been cut off from something and you find it and you think it's what makes you a whole person. I'm saying this as somebody who knows. As somebody who knows, okay? And I know I'm not the only one. I know many of people have had an experience like KeKe has said, KeKe has spoken about. One of the things I recognized when she was talking in the interview, which is why I said give her some grace, is this is happening to her for the first time. She doesn't even have words to articulate what she's truly experiencing. That's why it feels all over the place, because she doesn't have the words yet. She needs to live it and then, go back and say, this is what happened to me. But that's with all of us. We all have those experiences. We all will walk a walk where it's happened to us for the first time. Imagine your mother passing away for the first time. You don't have the words for that. You have to live in it, and then you'll be able to discuss it, in a way that people think, oh, okay, she's okay now. She's better now. as opposed to that child ain't in her right mind yet. Okay, she just lost her mama. That's how it is. So it felt like that. She's not okay in the space she is speaking about it yet. Okay. Um they've been fighting since they were a teenager. Correct. They have been fighting since they were a teenager. That doesn't mean that what they're experiencing at this moment in front of the public isn't for the first time. It isn't real for them for the first time. There's a lot of people weighing in on their experience. And like I said, when I saw Kiki, she definitely at the first time, she was doing it. When she spoke about it, she was like, F you, Tisha, F you, Marsau. But you know what else she said, you guys? And I ain't even playing. She said, I'm a hothead. I'm in anger management right now. Y'all recall that? I'm a hothead. I'm in anger management right now. The things I say and do may pop off like that in the beginning, but at the end of the day, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I don't always feel the way I express myself in the moment. So that was something I didn't know. That's the first time I had heard her say that. Okay. She misses her cousin, y'all. Okay. She misses her. Um, that's what I heard. She misses her cousin. She want her cousin back. She said if Tisha apologized to her, she said Tisha ain't never lied about their experience. Tisha's never lied about what they've gone through on the public platform, on the show, on social media, or anything else. She said Wanda has. She said Marsau has. Period. But Tisha never has. So she still believed that there is a pathway to her and Tisha possibly getting cool. Okay. Let's see. I think we sometimes want people to react or handle things the way we do. Sure, we watch TV and we think we have all the answers. In the meantime, our own shit is, blowing up, right? I really don't believe Kiki or the Scotts. They are both appearing. I really don't believe Kiki or the Scotts. Both aren't appearing to tell the truth. There's a lot of history between the two of them. According to what she said, again, last night in the interview, there's a lot of history between us. There's a lot of things I haven't said. There's a lot of things he hasn't said. However, she's still in a good space where she is open to reuniting with her cousin. Kiki sat on the reunion and said that she didn't believe that Mel and Kiki sat on the reunion and said she didn't believe Mel and believes that Marsau would never laugh at her. She's not seeing, she double talks and it destroys her credibility. Yeah, we all double talk, but I'll say this. We have to let some of these things, when I say that sometimes we can hold on to stuff that they haven't held on to, we hold on to stuff as the viewing audience that the cast don't hold on to, which is that's who listen, that's how it's supposed to be in in a real world. Some shit you just got to let go. She may have said that on the thing, but clearly her and Mel, at least for filming purposes, are cool now. So we have to also understand that we're human. People say and do things, and you got to let the little stuff go. Kathy said Tisha will never be cool with Kiki. She will continue to be gaslit by Lysol till she leaves this earth. Kiki will never move into her purpose by dragging them behind her. All right. So y'all let me know where y'all stand right now. It looks like we'll see if anybody has a different opinion when y'all come up. I'll let y'all come up and chit chat about it. But let's see. The other thing that she said that was important. These comments are heavy, y'all. Damn, y'all be really giving it to people. Crystal said, I think if it wasn't for the show, Tisha wouldn't be so hard on Kiki. To Tisha, the image of herself to the public is very important. So she will throw her own cousin under the bus. Again, child, she said she doesn't believe Tisha has lied about anything. She said that actually her cousin has been the only person who's been true and honest in regards to their conversation. LaDawn said that the punishment has to fit the crime. So what is the crime, LaDawn? I hope you come up and tell me what you think the crime and the punishment happens to be. This is blood. These people have had some experiences together. What we see on TV is just a small, tiny bit, just a fraction. It's not nowhere near to the real story. And so what we ended up seeing her do again in explaining what had happened, which if you guys know the story at all, she basically repeated it verbatim. Tisha came to her, said, "This is what I heard your makeup artist is doing." And she said when she told her, she was preparing herself to let her makeup artist go. She said something similar had happened with Kimmi and her makeup artist, and Kimmi did let her makeup artist go. So she said, because her and her cousin had made amends and were, moving forward, she was open to hearing her cousin. She wanted to get to the bottom of it. And she said, let me talk to her and find out what's really going on. And I will come to you and talk to you about it. This is, again, all stuff that has been said already on all of the platforms. There were some things that were shared that I didn't know. I will talk to you about that in a second. But this is things that has already been shared on all the platforms. She gets including the television show. She gets the information. She attempts to schedule a meeting with her and her cousin, not knowing that her cousin had already talked to the barber who at this point appears to have changed the story at least 2-3 times already, between the Scotts and also with KeKe. According to KeKe, she had one conversation with him off camera, off the platform. Then when she called him or spoke with him, it was a completely different conversation where he was, I don't know, you tell me, what do I get out of it? So it felt different to her from what the way it started. So we can say all of this started around a conversation with an outside person, an outside voice who has no interest in either one of them. So at this point, why would he change his story unless he was offered something by the person it would have affected most? That's one way to look at it. That's just one scenario. The second scenario, which again, KeKe had said on the show, I don't believe Marsau did it. That's what she said. I don't believe he did it, if I recall. Let's see. I was raised in Bessemer, and Wanda and KeKe broke the family code. People from Bessemer are very protective of their family. I truly believe that the trust cannot be refreshed. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, they said some pretty harsh things to each other, for sure. 100%. Here's a question. I just want to know if you have a hat on. Yes, girl, I do. I'm going to show you guys all of the hats. When I get off, go to make sure you're subscribed here. Make sure that you are subscribed to my IG page and to my Facebook page. I'm going to go and show you guys my inventory. We're getting it up. I promise you. Okay. I'll show you guys the inventory. It's this one. It's a grayish color one that you saw. There's a green, there's a purple, there's several hats. So yes. Marsau, allegedly, let me put my banner up. And she said that she didn't know about him and Tisha's. Okay. Okay. So listen, she tells the same story. Like I said, at the end of the day, Tisha did not show up to hear the information. And KeKe was attempting to figure it out. Like, why aren't you, speaking with me? She said she let weeks go by without speaking to her. And then it all just blew up in her face, with her saying, I told you to say the F out my business, and you told me you would never do this again. And here you are doing it again, because that was the pact. That was the pact. Do not do this again. I see both sides. I see Tisha's side and saying, I told her not to say this or have this happen to me again. Why is your makeup artist speaking about it? And here's the kicker where I think everything gets a little confusing, because I didn't get a clear answer when I heard the interview. Why did the makeup artist go to production? What was the purpose of that? I don't know. Why did she go to production before she went to KeKe? I don't know. That also feels off. And I don't think there was a clear answer brought in regards to that. When Stormy came on to try to, discuss her part in it, she was like, I really had no idea what was going on. I just didn't want anybody to get fired. That's me. I will definitely, when I find out some shit is going on and that people could possibly lose their jobs, I will go into anybody's space and be like, listen, I don't know what y'all doing, but clean it up because people need their damn job. What are you doing? So she said she went in there being that person, which I completely related to. But then she said, I think production already knew. I think production already knew, and that they tapped into her, the makeup artist. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Anthony, which makeup artist? So I thought, if listen, I'll drop the link too, just in case somebody want to clear it up. Thank you for showing up for me, brother, and and trying to clear this up. Ooh, these chats are moving fast. Hold on, let me drop the link. I appreciate you for showing up and asking how to clean this up. If you want to, you can, but I understand if you don't too, child. Shit happens. Okay, hold on. Copy. Okay, give me a second, guys. Okay, so I was under the impression, that Kiki's makeup artist was asked, went to production. I don't know if it was Kiki's makeup artist or Stormy's makeup artist, to be honest. I just kept hearing the makeup artist. So what I was curious about was somebody's makeup artist went to production. And I kept thinking, well, which one did it and why did they do it? Because that was one of the questions that Stormy had asked. Why did the makeup artist go to production? And she went to production because her job was on the line. Is that what you heard? Okay, so Ray J, thank you. He's saying that she went to production because her job was on the line. And then Deborah said that Stormy went to her and then went to production to clear her name. Okay. So anywho, Stormy went to production to clear her name. So Stormy was like, listen, I was just trying to keep everybody's job safe. That I heard. Kiki's makeup artist went first. That's what I thought. Kiki's makeup artist went first, even though Tisha's makeup artist was the one that was involved. Okay. So at the end of the day, okay, so I'm going to let you up, sir. Hi, honey bunny.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Girl, trying to get over this cold. See my voice gone.
Okay. Well, I hope that you get over your cold. Congratulations to you.
Thank
Great interview. Loved it. It's what I thought. Most of it. I really feel like Kiki is really hurt by what
you.
happened between her and her cousin. I really do. And it's heartbreaking to watch it play out. And I also think that if they weren't on the show, if this wasn't playing out in front of our eyes, this would have went down completely different.
Yeah, even Stormy, I told Stormy, I was like, Stormy, girl, I hate I even put this out there. And Stormy said, Anthony, I'm glad you put it out there. Just so people can actually see what really happened instead of watching the show. Because if everyone was watching the show, everyone would have just been confused.
Listen. Okay. Yeah, the way they started, just her sitting at the table with Melody, and I was like, if we weren't paying attention to this, we would have had no clue, especially all the dog barking and cat meowing.
Yes.
But yes. Okay. So
now your question, you asked, why did the makeup artist go to production?
Yes.
So Tisha's makeup artist, Jasmine Ray, was going to production crying about the situation, saying they're accusing her of sleeping with Marsau.
Oh.
Now, it's something that has not been released yet, okay? But I feel like somebody's about to push people to push their back against the wall, and they're gonna end up releasing it, and it's gonna shut a lot of stuff down. We didn't really talk about that yesterday.
Okay.
But anyway, because like I said, there's one more,
Fiction.
it's one more piece to it. But and I'm like, you know what? Just stay quiet. I'm like, let it go. And I'm not talking about Kiki. I'm talking about for somebody who's trying to recant their story, like who's switching up. And I'm like, look, let it go. I'm telling you, because it's not going to end the way you want it to end. Because another person came up.
This is bad.
It is, and I'm looking like, that's why I said, look, I'm done with the situation. Kiki cleared the situation up. I was glad that Stormy came up and she vouched for the situation. Now, when Brianna, Kiki's makeup artist, went to production, she was trying to go like clear her name up or whatever because Jasmine Ray already been going crying to everybody. So Tasha is Kimmy's makeup artist, right? That's the one that got fired.
Okay.
Even in the midst of when she
fired because of this situation.
Yeah. Keep in mind, Brianna and Tasha are actually friends.
Okay.
So it started with them accusing Tasha of the situation. Now it's going to Kiki's makeup artist, Brianna. Now keep in mind they friends or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Even in the midst of when the production, when she got fired from being a makeup artist or whatever, from OWN with Kingdom, it was either with OWN or Kingdom Reign. It was one of them that actually terminated her.
Okay.
Maurice reached out to Tasha. Keep in mind, this haven't been said yet. Maurice even reached out to Tasha saying, can you please still do Kimmy's makeup? Oh, even they still wanted to work with the girl.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this makes sense a little bit. So when you were saying, I remember all the makeup artists getting together and saying, we aren't allowed to be in this kind of mess with, you know, the talent. And I remember that happening and thinking, well, why is everybody in the mess? Like, how did y'all get yourselves all looped into this one thing? So Tasha ends up being let go. And it was proven that she was helping spread the rumor, or what?
You said Tasha ended up letting who get let go?
So you said Tasha was Kimmy's makeup artist.
Yeah, Kimmy's makeup artist.
She was let go because of this situation.
Yes.
And
like so it was like its own situation first without Brianna being involved. Because this isn't the first time it's being brought up in this way. Tasha was the first one to get let go. Then all of a sudden it came back up again. Now they're blaming Kiki's makeup artist.
Brianna.
Yeah.
Okay. So when Tisha comes to Kiki, she's like, your makeup artist is now continuing the mess. Not that she started it. She's continuing something we tried to dead.
Now, I don't know if it was continuing the mess, but all I know is that she just said that it's coming from her makeup artist.
It's coming from her. And so Kiki loves her makeup artist, didn't want to let her go. I'm going to find out. And then Stormy's makeup artist gets in it how?
So I'm still trying to figure it out because Bug said that Stormy's makeup artist went to his shop to confirm the information. You see how crazy this stuff sounds, and that's why Stormy was like,
God, does anyone want to stay employed? No.
Exactly. And that's why Stormy was like, but what would my makeup artist have to confirm? Like, she don't got nothing to do with this or whatever. Because keep in mind, in the midst of why I'm live, I'm literally getting messages from Bugs. I'm like, ugh. Ask her this question right here. I'm like, Lord Jesus. And Stormy she gonna answer it or whatever. That's why she looking like, okay, how is this stuff even coming up? And I told Bugs, I said, Bugs, let it go, bro. Let it go. Because right now, you reached out to another blogger. And I know that blogger isn't going to lie. She sat up there and she said that people was telling her that what he's telling you is not what's on those videos behind the wall.
Oh, wow.
It's totally opposite from what we were saying. So now it's kind of making you look like you are lying about this situation.
For sure. Because that's what I said. I said, right now, it all centers around him changing his story. And it feels uncomfortable to watch a whole family break down the way it did. It wasn't just Tisha and Kiki. It's Tisha, her mama, her daddy. Like, all of this stuff it's bad. I wouldn't wish that on anybody over a rumor that, quote unquote rumor that came from this outside person that don't know them.
So the whole situation is just crazy. But I told him, I said, look, I'm done. I'm tired. I don't want to talk about this stuff no more. But I don't mind telling you, clearing up some stuff or whatever. You good.
Wow, I appreciate you so much. I would have you came up and said it because I was like, I'm still trying to figure out how. I don't know why I didn't connect that part that Tisha's makeup artist is hurt going to production and saying, listen, we need to kill this, because that's the other thing. Having that kind of rumor circulate while you're at work is horrible. And I said that to y'all in my review. When I said, is Marsau shitting where he eats? Tisha got to go into that space and hold her head up every time she walks in there. Like, that's a lot of people who knows something about you, whether it's true or false. You have to pretend you don't care about.
But one thing that really got to me, DYANAROZAY, it was more so of the comment that production made to Brianna. And I kept on asking them, like, when Brianna said that production said they already knew about it, and they told her to bring some truth to the situation.
Okay.
I'm still trying to understand, what truth do you want? Do you want her to go, like, bring the truth to be like, look, I didn't start this? Or bring some truth to the situation dealing with Marsau and Jasmine Ray? Because on the recording, I uploaded that first part. I don't know if you listened to the first part. It's actually live for everyone to watch it. You hear KeKe saying, "I don't want this to. I don't wish this on anybody, and I don't want this to be true."
Right.
And she basically said, "Just know, if we have to call you, are you going to sit up here? Will you tell these people where this stuff came from?" And he said, yes. You basically said that KeKe wasn't involved, that it wasn't their fault, that if push comes to shove that they have to get you involved, that you're willing to tell them what happened. So you basically vindicated KeKe just off that one line by itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, so is that the reason why y'all reached out to him to get information so y'all can basically tell production, this is where this rumor came from and this how it started? Or do you all want her to go find out if Marsau and this girl really did something?
Okay.
So.
Wow, that's tough. I hate that for them. That's tough. That is tough. And that's the type of stuff that follows you. It doesn't go away.
Right.
It follows you. So anywho, you're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys. So I see some of you are coming up, and that's okay. Since the link is pinned, you guys can come up. And I just wanted to make some other points. So we got it cleared up. It was Tisha's makeup artist who went to production in order to get them to kill the rumors. Tasha, which was Kimmi's makeup artist, was let go because of it. And I think that was how we found out at the beginning. Thank you again, Anthony. I appreciate it. That's how we found out that the makeup artist, or how I found out, I don't know if you guys knew, but that's how I found out the makeup artist didn't get paid by the talent. They were paid by OWN, right? So that's a separate check. And I think, I forgot who said that to us, but someone actually came in and said that. What else did I want to say? But at the end of the day, now we know Tisha came to KeKe thinking that KeKe's makeup artist was also a part of it some kind of way, which is unfortunate. KeKe wanted to save her makeup artist, her position, and decided to find out what she wanted to find out. But I still see both sides. If Tisha is walking into a space where she thinks people is talking about her, if her makeup artist couldn't take it, and now Tisha's walking into the same space, and she feels that KeKe had even a small part to do with it, she's going to want to cut KeKe off. And unfortunately, it just got handled wrong. It got handled wrong. So my points are that I think Tisha loves her cousin. Excuse me, I think KeKe loves her cousin. I'm not going to say that Tisha doesn't love KeKe. I just feel like Tisha's probably looking at her past with KeKe and thinking, I need a break. Okay. But I do think, and I hope that they can reconcile this shit, because it came from somebody else. It didn't come from the two of them. That's number one. Number two, we have to remember that KeKe said Tisha's never lied. So a lot of people are, saying, drop Tisha, drop Marsau. She said Tisha's never lied on her. She's never lied about any situation that they've been in. That's really tough. That also means that she's carrying a burden, thinking, you just misunderstood me, and I hope that you can, find it in your heart so that we can talk about it. Okay. Let's see. It all feels like it's the barber, unfortunately, who's changing his story and who has created a whole lot of mess around this family, a family that's probably already, up to here in mess. Kiki said that she's in anger management and that she's very much a hothead. These are her words. And that when she gets upset, that means that she's going to scream, fuss, and fight. Okay. So when we saw her at the table, I'm asking the question, is it possible that we didn't see everything? You know what I'm saying? When everybody is saying they saw her go from 0 to 100, is it possible that she just went from 0 to 100? I said that I thought Marsau and Tisha was provoking and pushed her out. But if it was really just a 2-second or, 2 minutes of conversation or non-conversation, do you think that still warrants Kiki to go from 0 to 100 in the manner that she did? And then how about Kiki posting the messages? Do y'all even think that Kiki wants to reconcile with Tisha? Let's start there, because I'm asking y'all questions based on the fact that I think she wants to reconcile. If you think that Kiki does want to reconcile her relationship, put a 3 in the chat. If you think she doesn't, put a 5 in the chat. Let's do that first, okay? And let's look at the dancing of Mr. P. Diddy, okay? Every step I take, I'll be missing you, okay? Y'all remember that? So let's see. 3. Can y'all hear the song Faith Evans singing her heart out? Every step I take, every move I make, I'll be missing you, period, okay? Let's see if we can bring these people back together. Anywho, y'all, I'm being really jokey. I don't see any 5s. Everybody's giving me a 3, okay? Even LaDawn is in the back. She gave a 3. Okay, cool. There's a lot of y'all here. So let me get you on stage right now so that we can talk, because I know that y'all know y'all might be at work or something, okay? I don't want to miss anybody. I'm bringing you all up. Make sure that you are all muted. Thank you. Everybody mute up, and then I'll talk to you one at a time. And we're going to start with Miss LaDawn. So we got a little more information from Anthony about all of this, right? It started, the rumor was out there prior, right? We all know that. It dropped to social media about in May, correct? Anthony's channel did bring more information and light to it, more than we would have ever figured out. But the show did not give us all those beginning stages of the story. We didn't know Kimmy's makeup artist was fired. We didn't know that Letitia's makeup artist had went to production and asked for, people to, be investigated. For the most part, like, I need y'all to check these people. They're talking about me. They're saying this is happening. That's hard. That is hard. And then Tisha is also experiencing it. But what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think about all of this? Like,
well, you see, I had to light my peace pipe because this is a big one.
Oh, peace pipe.
All right. So first of all, I watched the interview. Anthony, great job. And Kiki, great job. And she looked lovely. And Stormy surprised me. So it was a whole bunch in that interview. So I'm going to say this, right?
What's that?
I come from a big family, 17. My grandmother has 17 kids. Yes, I'm the only child, but my mother and them was on drugs. So me and my cousin, whose mother was on drugs, was raised as sisters. I was raised, family back then was very important. We had family reunions every 2 years. We got together every Sunday and had cookouts and just hung around, and cousins spent the night. It ain't like that no more, right?
100.
I was also taught that
I
the
know everything you're
punishment.
talking about. Let me say this too. I know exactly what you're talking about. I told
Mm-hmm.
y'all before, my mother was one of 11 children. All
Yep.
of those children had children. We were a big, we could have been a
Mm-hmm.
whole city, okay, by
Yep.
ourselves. And my grandmother never locked, I don't remember my grandmother locking her door until we were
That's right.
14 years old. We could walk into her house anytime, day or night. You could
Mm-hmm.
do anything in her house anytime,
Mm.
day or night.
I miss it. I
That
miss it.
that's my growing up experience. So I understand
Mm-hmm.
when you have those big families and there is a fracture that removes
Mm-hmm.
somebody from the family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A hurtful
But
thing.
like I was saying in the chat to somebody else who wrote something, the
Mhm.
punishment got to fit the crime. I
Okay.
was also taught you don't cut your family off unless they M your child, touched your child in that way, um, beat one of the siblings or anybody. You don't pound on anybody. You understand? Just because you a man or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, there are consequences to your actions. Some things are greater than others. So
Mhm.
those are the three things that we cut you off for.
Okay.
Or messing with my money, how I got to eat and feed my family and live day to day.
Okay.
Right. And it got to be big money, not no $100. I may deal with you differently. It might shift the relationship, but I still love you. I just won't let you mess around in that area no more.
Mhm.
So I don't think KeKe and Tisha did something so bad that they can't come back from at this point. As far as Uncle Wanda, that's a relationship that I think is broken. When you say I was going to be AB'd and all that, and that's something that we can't come back from. And I'm still cool with, because I have aunts that I don't deal with, but I still, when there's a family function at a mutual place, hey auntie, and I keep going. There's some that I don't even speak to. I just stay on the other side of the room, and
Mhm.
that's okay.
Mhm.
So that's why I said yes, I feel like they can fix this if everybody else is out of it now, or the other people respect that they have their relationship and they stay out of it, right?
Mhm.
Now, her being jealous of Tisha, first of all, she's been married longer. She had her husband longer.
Mhm.
So she was already in a relationship and it's still going. So you don't have anything that she wants that she didn't already have or have, you
Mhm.
know. So
Mhm.
I say that to say that. Now, what she cleared up for me, and what Stormy cleared up for me is Stormy is friends with Tisha, I mean with Kiki's makeup artist. They are friends. So when she
Stormy
heard
Say this one more time. Stormy is friends with the Jasmine, the makeup artist.
with Kiki's makeup
Kiki.
artist,
Okay. Okay. I think her name was Brianna. Is that right?
okay?
Okay.
Yes.
So Stormy's friends with Kiki's makeup
Kiki's.
artist. Mhm.
Yes, she
Let me
says
write
she
this down,
respects her. She came from where she came from on a grind and work hard. She said, and when she heard them in the back talking about firing her, she went to the makeup artist as a friend and said, girl, whatever is going on, they talk about firing you. And she said, it's about that rumor. She said, oh, she said, what? But that already was out there. Everybody knew about that. So why are you? You better straighten it up. And that's when she went to production to clear herself out of it. So
Got
that's how Stormy, that's how Kiki's makeup artist knew they was talking about firing her for her to even go to production. Now, as far as Tisha having to hold her head up high, it's not because of nothing Kiki did. That rumor was already out there. You was already getting made up by the woman that they said was this happened with. You was already saving face, walking around. It had nothing to do with Kiki. At the same time, Kiki could have compassion for you having to walk in like that, like Mel had to when y'all all knew what y'all husbands was helping him do, paying bills for the side chick, and she had to still save face. So that's still not on Kiki, in my opinion. So, because KeKe did not put it out there, it was already out there. Production and everybody already knew about it. Now, where KeKe cleared up for me also is Tisha asked her to get more information. You asked her, where KeKe should have said, yo, cuz, I love you and I don't want nothing to happen in your marriage, but I ain't doing that. That's the only mistake she made, but we all know there's different characters. Tisha was raised by Uncle Wanda. KeKe was raised by her mom.
And you know, when
even though
LaDon, just because I want to just make sure it's balanced, when she came to her and they had that conversation, I think that Tisha found KeKe genuine in wanting to help her. I think what happened is the other guy, the barber, shared the story before she got a chance to talk.
Tisha allowed the barber to get in her head.
Well, listen, it's your marriage, though.
I know, and that's your cousin. That's a stranger.
It is a stranger, but the stranger has a relationship with the very person that's causing the mess. So, I mean, if it's Tisha's makeup artist and she knows this person, and then this stranger says, well, this is a lie, this is your cousin, and you don't, your relationship with your cousin is already rocky, that the break happened with that man. But we can't say that Tisha should have just been like, let me hear it out, because at this point, Tisha already told her, I warned you not to have this conversation. I warned you not to put yourself in my marriage.
I thought she said that after the fact, though. She said that statement after the fact, because Tisha also.
I mean, she said in season 6, early season 6, they went to the kickboxing class. Tisha told her about having KeKe taking medicine out of her cabinet when she was.
I remember that. So why did she then?
Anymore.
So she did say that then, right? But then you go to her and ask her to find out more information to see if it's true or not.
Asked her to fire her makeup artist, and KeKe said,
I thought, if anybody else in the chat can correct me, I thought I heard KeKe say that Tisha came to her and said, yeah, this rumor is going around, whatever, and your makeup artist is somehow involved. Can you see if you can find out more information? That's when KeKe went to find out the information, called Tisha and said, let's meet up so we can talk about this, because she wanted to see her face to face to show her the stuff, that the evidence, the stuff that she had. That's what I took from it, but maybe I'm wrong. So until somebody tell me otherwise, correct me, and I hear what you're saying, I'm just going to have to go back and watch it again. But anyway, so I'm just saying Tisha is blaming the wrong person. I know it's easy to do because of the fracture, but it's not fair at the same time. And KeKe having a temper still has nothing to do with somebody who has a different kind of temper. You understand? Because there's different kind of tempers. There's a outburst temper, there's a silent aggression temper, and there is a loud temper, right? Or a fighting physical temper. So I can say this: Tisha is slick with the way she do things. But KeKe wears her heart on her sleeve, because I'm like that. I used to fight. I used to get in trouble a lot. You know, some of my past. And I used to pop off. I used to feel like this. If you're talking all that trash, I told my daughter this, because my daughter's opposite of me. She don't fight. She said that she talks crap about people and let them hear it. And when somebody's ready to fight, she's like, well, why you want to fight me? I don't fight. But why are you talking all that trash if you can't back it up? So just because somebody gets pushed, because if KeKe really had a temper, she would have been popping off a long time ago over how they've been coming at her. She's been holding back, holding back, holding back. So I say her temper hasn't shown to be a consistent problem to me. And she's been in situations where I would have been probably handled it differently. So then I'm going to go real quick to why she said Marsau when she made the post. She was saying he was lying because of why he was saying he picked her up. He was saying he picked her up off the drug corner from her having a drug binge, and he did it plenty of times. And he did it on multiple occasions, picked her up off of drug corners from her being high and trying to talk her off the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way he said it. So she said he is lying, and last night she clarified it. He picked me up because me and my husband was going at it, and he took my keys because I was drinking and whatever and wanted to go out. So therefore, I walked and whatever. She explained her story. So she clarified it. So he was lying because it was only one time and it wasn't on no drug corner. Okay? So that's why she said he was lying. He always throws things out there and leave it like, "Oh God, I'm the one that's doing everything for everybody." Tisha did as a cousin would do because I was on drugs. I'm 20 years clean. I had family members leave little clippings of a 1-800 number for a drug program on the table because they didn't want to say the words to me, but they left little things around. Your cousin drove you to get some information. Thank you. Y'all left. Later on, she might have read that information with her husband and her mother, and they said, okay, we're going to make the decision to do it. It takes a community, it takes a village. Not in today's days, but back in my days when my mother and them was in jail, my neighbors helped my grandmother with us. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I see it all sides, but I think Tisha got misdirected anger. And some people are more forgiving than others. So Kiki saying Tisha didn't do nothing so bad that we can't come back from. That's my cousin, and I love her. That don't show her to be weak. That just shows her not a vindictive person that holds grudges. In my opinion, she didn't do nothing so great.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate you. I always respect your opinion. I appreciate it. We all have opinions, child. That is what this platform is for. A lot of people agree with you. A lot of people agree with you. Let me say that first. I'm going to ask y'all to go back and listen to that particular part, though, because what I heard her say is that Tisha, again, came to her, Kiki, or excuse me, not Kiki, Kimmy's makeup artist had already been fired. Anthony confirmed that was fired because she was a part of the rumor mill in the beginning. She was already let go because that makeup artist was let go. When Tisha came to Kiki, Kiki said, she just implied it. She didn't tell me to do it, but she implied it. And because Kimmi had already let her makeup artist go, she was willing to do that. She was ready to do that for her because she had already, her and her cousin had made amends and they were moving forward. However, she said, will you allow me to get some information? She asked her if it was okay for her to get some information. And Tisha said yes. And that's
Yeah.
why that's how I believe that went down. I'm trying to look for the note that she had put out.
Even if she said yes, she gave her the okay to do it.
She
If
gave
she said no, maybe Kiki wouldn't have did it.
She did give her the okay to do it. You're 100% correct. She did, but it was offered. And when I said, the only reason why I'm saying that and saying she offered it to her is because she was looking for, hold on. She was looking for, these comments are going up so fast. They fired Kimmy's makeup artist for defamation. That is a big deal. Okay. So, she said, because she asked her when I did the review, if y'all listen to it, I said she was looking for redemption. She was looking to redeem herself with her cousin. Like, I need to prove to you that I have your back.
Mm-hmm.
Have your back. And that was what that was about. And the reason why she is so hurt is because it all came crashing down on every level. Like, I would not want anybody talking about my mama the way Wanda was talking about her her mother on these platforms. She's a garbage mouth when it came to Kiki and her mom.
On both ends, you're right, Diana, but I wouldn't want nobody to see my mother talking like that neither.
Yes, I agree. But I don't think Kiki's mom has been on the platform in that level. So whereas, Wanda has.
And that's why it shows her more respectable than Wanda, because you got a platform and look how you acting with it in public. Ilk.
Okay. And so with that, let's see. You've made really great points. You can stay up if you'd like. We're going to go to the next person. Miss Review Hour, how are you? Can you hear me? Miss Review Hour? Okay. How How about Hershey 85?
Can
Hey, honey.
you hear me?
I hear you.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, honey?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
I
child.
I really feel so bad for Kiki. I really do. I with I listened to the interview last night,
Mm-hmm.
and just because even with I still support Anthony. I had my little words in his comments, but he is a very talented interviewer, and so I can I can separate the two and
Mm-hmm.
know, like, even if I don't agree with you on this, I can't deny you that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if
Mm-hmm.
you're talented at what you do, I might disagree. I'm not going to agree with everything somebody does, and the vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he handled that interview, and the way Kiki was able to open up, and she's such a ball of energy. When that one caller called to like, I'm gonna hit you with some reality. Your cousin don't care about you the way you care about your cousin.
Oh, damn.
And you can see the tears roll up in her eyes, and I just really wanted to start crying for her.
Say this. I
Because
don't necessarily think that's cool to say though. Do you think that was a cool thing to say?
it
Nope.
wasn't cool, but
No, I don't.
sometimes you have to hear it because I went through similar situations with my cousin. You feel me?
Hershey.
And
We don't know
I
their
thought
real.
that
We don't know how close or we don't know everything about them. We only see a fraction of their life. Wouldn't it?
exactly.
Wouldn't it be better if it came from somebody that actually knew them? Knew them?
It would. It would, but it would. Don't get me wrong. It would.
Okay.
But when she said it and I saw the look on Kiki's face,
Yeah.
it was like I understood that look because I've had that similar experience when something went down with a family member, and it was like, I thought you loved me. I thought we grew up together. You my I thought you loved me.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to take the side of your spouse, which you supposed to. Don't get me wrong. Your spouse comes first. However, you know Marsau ain't about ish. Everybody around you know Marsau ain't about ish. You want to blame everybody. And at the same time, I feel like the only reason why Kimmi is saying some of the things she's saying is because, okay, I got rid of my makeup artist to appease Tisha. Kiki didn't. This is the whole pot,
Well, it
just
sounds.
point blank in the period.
Let me just clarify. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like Kimmi got rid of her makeup artist. It sounds like the makeup artist was fired by
I
OWN.
get that. But what I'm saying is
Mhm.
Kimmi didn't take up for her makeup artist.
Well, she did
See what I'm trying to say?
if
Kimmi
Maurice,
didn't try to save her makeup artist job
if
the
Maurice
way
went behind OWN to call Kimmy's makeup artist and say, "I will pay you under the table to continue
Mm-hmm.
the job," then they
Mm-hmm.
did take up for her. That's the thing. They
okay.
they did. If they said, we're willing to have you continue with us and we'll pay you to do that, that means they did. And she just said no.
Okay, so if he went behind productions back willing to pay, so why, and I know Tisha know this information, and why Tisha don't have the same smoke for Kimmi and Mari. You see what I'm saying? The whole thing is I want to blame this one person, and I'm gonna make her look like a dope fiend, and I'm gonna make her look crazy, and I'm gonna co-sign everything my husband said. Cause like Tisha said, Tisha never lied, but she ain't correcting her husband. She ain't putting her
Mm-hmm.
husband in his place. She's not telling him, "Don't say that about my cousin. This is a very serious thing. Don't joke about it. Don't do." She's not doing that.
Y'all know what though? We're looking at it. I'm playing devil's advocate, but we're looking at it through the lens of the show. We're not seeing the bigger picture. We're just looking at it through the lens of the show. We know what Kiki said last night, which is she tried to talk to her. It didn't happen, but we also know there's history where Tisha feels that Kiki has interfered with her marriage in a negative way, and Kiki tried to redeem herself by saying, girl, I have your back. Let me get the answer because I don't believe it's true. She didn't believe it was
Mhm.
true. She tried to get the
Mhm.
answer. Someone just jumped ahead of Kiki to get that information to Tisha. So we're looking.
Which is crazy. It's the same dude that Marsau is doing construction on his building, and
Yeah.
he only retracting that because Marsau wasn't going to finish the contract. I mean, the construction on his building and all that. Let's be real. This whole thing is messy. Marsau is not innocent in any of this. Do we believe the threesome thing? No, because I don't believe anybody want to have a threesome with his hips nor titties. Okay, I
Damn.
don't believe that. I don't believe it. However, it's not like we don't know or it's obviously out there that Marcel has messed around on Tisha. Tisha is very insecure. I see it all. It's piping through the TV. It's seeping through the TV how insecure she is. She came to that barbecue with that sports bra on that needed to be thrown in the trash and burned. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it really needed to be burnt. I mean, thrown away and burnt. And then you get up there. Everybody said, "Well, Tisha ignored Kiki." No, she didn't ignore her. She antagonized that lady by over talking her, being she knew exactly what she was doing. And the nail that put in the coffin, you gonna hug my husband and then you don't even speak to me. She lucky that wasn't somebody with my personality because it would have been a fight way before that cup thing, the little baptism she had. It would have been a fight before that. You hug my husband and then you stiff me. I would have came to her. So we on this now. So you
Mm-hmm.
gonna hug my husband and not me? Yeah, we would have had words there because I would have made her pay attention to me after I would have stomped her on her forehead. See,
Okay.
this is the kind of stuff that Tisha. People want to baby Tisha and no, she didn't do this. Tisha is very manipulative. She's very calculated, and I don't know if people forgot that Marsau even said that she has the same personality as Martell. They are just alike. He said that out of his mouth.
Let
I
me
would never forget.
Darcy, I had this conversation just yesterday with someone that follows me on IG. I said everybody on the show has said those words in some form about Tisha, her cousin Courtney, Kimmi, Maurice, Marsau, her husband, Martell, Destiny, Melody, Tiffany. They have all said some variation of what you just said. I literally just had that conversation. So I totally get it. We know that Tisha she needs to be handled with kid gloves for sure.
She do, and I just really believe that Kiki, at this point, and I can give this type of advice because, like I said, I've been through a similar situation. Like the cousin that I had the beef with, I told him to his face. I said, "Look here, yo." I said, "I could care less how many gospel songs you play in the morning. Your heart is ugly. You are ugly on the inside." I told him straight up. Because having a car standing in a garage does not make you a car. So just because you playing gospel music every morning and all like that does not take away the evilness in your heart. Just found out not too long ago he had a heart attack. I
Wow.
said, well, isn't that something? The one thing that he got a problem with, that's what happened.
Okay.
Now,
No
thank
worries.
God he's all right. Thank God he's still there with his family and everything like that. And I love him to death to this day. But I knew how to unattach myself from him. Like he
Yeah.
was my favorite. He was my favorite cousin from childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like
It
that
took
was
you a while to do that, right? You just didn't wake up one day and say, you know what, you did this, I'm done.
no. It was very very hurtful, and it took me a minute. But it took me a minute because I knew I needed to let it go, and that it would never be the same
Mm-hmm.
between him and I for the situation that had happened. It would never be the same, and I'm okay with that now. Because there are cliques within my family dynamic. The family that's supposed to be family, we have cliques in that family. Isn't it sad? But when you realize that, oh, Okay, well, I'm just not in the clique and I don't care. I was able to detach myself and
Okay.
not be angry and
So,
still love them from afar. I don't wish harm on you. I
okay.
don't wish ill will on you. I don't wish nothing. You just can't eat at my table and I don't want to eat at yours. Love you though, and God bless you on your journey.
Okay.
And now that I've had that mindset, it really freed me. And I need Kiki to free herself from
Okay.
Tisha don't want your help.
Listen,
Tisha don't want to be saved.
Hershey.
Tisha don't want to know the truth. Tisha don't, she wants to stay in her dysfunctional, toxic behind marriage until she's 80 years old with no teeth, staring at the wall, talking at Marsau because he's been passed on by now. That's what she wants for her life.
Okay. I'm sorry, Hershey. I was trying to slow you down, but oh, child, you didn't hear me when I was asking you to hold up for just a second. But you made a good point that everybody has to. This is what I was saying at the very beginning. We all have a journey. We all have this journey where we have to figure out when something is no good for us. And people can tell you all day and night. However, if you when people are in that situation, I don't care who you are. You could be family, you can be people on the outside looking in, just strangers. You got to let them walk that walk because
It's a process.
they
Yes.
will attract the same situation to them so that they can work it out with the next person. And the next person, it could be a really dangerous situation. So they got to learn the lesson that comes with that. And it is family that it happens with first, usually. Okay. So that's what I was saying. She has something when I told you at the beginning, when she explained that story, she told the story, hey, I had to, sneak across the way to meet my daddy because I never saw him before. I didn't know who he was. And then when she saw him, I fell in love with him immediately. And then when I saw the people that look like me, all this other stuff, the joy that was in that girl's eyes, in her voice when she spoke, all of that stuff. And then she sat down with her aunt in, I think, season 5. And she was telling her aunt, you and my daddy would pit me and Tisha against each other and have us compete and all that stuff. And her aunt was saying something completely different than what she hold as her memory or truth. That's something she has to work out. She is going to fail if she takes this advice from anybody else. That's all I was saying. But anywho, I apologize. There's a lot of people that keep trying to jump in and out. So I'm going to go to the next person so that we can, keep this conversation going, keep it lively. I see the review hour jump back on. She was actually before Hershey, so I'm going to have her talk. I'm going to put a little bit of a time limit on you, Miss Review Hour, just so that we can keep it going. So I'm going to make it 2-3 minutes, okay? I hope that's okay.
That sounds great. Yes.
Okay,
As I said in your chat, and thank you for having me up. I
thank you.
I was raised in Bessemer, and it's been years since I've gone to Bessemer as far as just visiting people. But and believe it or not, Wanda is older than me, so I did not interact with her as a child. But I did have her sister, her deceased sister, and brother. They were playmates of mine. And I bring that up to say that I remember them as a family and how close they were when we were growing up. And, if one got into it with somebody, it was all. And
Mhm,
so I can understand that once Kiki got with that family, that it made her feel like she was a part of it because
mhm,
it have a big family and they were all close. Now, with that being said, Kiki and Wanda, they both know that what they did was wrong. And I just sat back and watched. I couldn't believe the things. I couldn't believe Wanda was speaking on somebody's child because that's just something that, from what I remember growing up, the children in that neighborhood, we were not raised to do that. And we didn't have parents that did that. So I was disappointed in that.
mhm,
And I'm also disappointed in how Wanda and Kiki, now Kiki, I don't know her, never seen her in my life other than on television. And the same as for Letitia, because I hadn't been in Bessemer for years since I was a child. But I can say that I would I know Wanda probably know better. And
Mhm.
KeKe, since she was around them a lot after she met them, they know better than to go on national television and to say the things that they said, both of them. And
Mhm.
that's why I said in the chat, only God can fix it, because Wanda talked about parentage on Kiki's side, and Kiki, she's called her names, and of course Wanda has talked about Kiki's mother, and I do believe that it is at a point of no return because of the things that have that has been said. uh,
Mhm.
it just went too deep. It went too deep, and I don't think other than therapy and God can save that relationship that they did have. And
Mhm.
with that being said, I I believe that Kiki, and I think someone else said it, she has to come to grips, and that's on her own terms, to that her and Letitia may not ever be close again. And she may need to just start working on herself, her own family, her own nucleus there, her husband, her children. She has a family, and she may want to just stop trying to um, appease her husband, Kimmi, all of these people that I heard her talk about in the interview, that she wants to convince them that she's okay. She doesn't have to do that. She is okay. She made a horrible mistake about saying the things that she said about her family member. And of course, Wanda made a horrible mistake in doing the same to her. But we may have to accept, and she may have to accept, that they may not ever be able to repair that because of the. I'm just putting myself in her shoes. If someone tried to talk about who is the father of my child, on social media or wherever, there would be no coming back from that. And if somebody doesn't like, and if she doesn't like Wanda, and they can't, there's no way in the world her and Letitia can be friends. Because I know how I felt about my mom. If you don't like my mama, then you don't like me.
Mhm.
So I just don't see it ever being repaired unless they go into deep therapy to address whatever the cause is for them to have the feelings that they do have, to and for them to even go that low.
Mhm.
They went low.
They did, honey. They did go low. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. They 100% went low. Uh,
Yes.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Let me keep this moving if you
Okay.
don't mind.
No, I
I
don't. Thank you.
thank you so much, Review Hour. Okay. Faith is substance. Faith is the substance. How are you, honey?
Yes. Salutations, everybody. Yes, this is such a lot to unpack. Just the tangle webs that has been woven.
Hold on
But
one second. Hold on one second. Your microphone is giving a lot of feedback.
oh, it is.
Mhm.
It said feedback.
Yeah, it feels like you might have to drop down, but
Okay.
we can hear your voice.
Okay. I will.
Then drop down, come back.
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Let's go to Deborah. Hey, Deborah.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
You sound great.
All
How are
right. I'm doing just fine. I'm really super excited to talk to you. I love your show.
you?
You are absolutely one of my favorites.
I
So yeah, and I just want to say, LaDon, you're spot on. I agree with you. And I'm so glad to see Auntie Marita here to give us a perspective about going on in your journey of healing through your addiction. Like her and LaDon are
very
real.
motivating. Yeah.
Yes, very motivating. So
Mm.
what I want to say is, honestly, I've been here so long, I think I forgot. But one of the things I absolutely remember is that I want to say is, I'll say this first, and I've learned this the hard way. You teach people how to treat you. When you
Exactly.
accept bad behavior, you are teaching them how to treat you. One of my frustrations with the interview last night, I was absolutely glad to hear for Anthony to do the interview. I really respect his platform, and I love Kiki. I found a newfound respect for Stormy. Um, but one of the things I want to say is the thing that frustrated me is I understand that we love our family. I get that because I have a pretty large family too. But sometimes you do have to let family go. If you are on a healing journey and you have asked for forgiveness and your family members keep throwing things in your face, to me, that's not love. I'm not saying they don't love each other because I don't think they have a pure understanding of what love is. Love does not do that. The way they treat each other, to me, that's not love. That's not love. If I've got to constantly walk on eggshells to try to keep a relationship with you, I don't have the energy for it.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say I used to be that way. I'm at the point in my life now where I'm not doing that. I will step away from you and love you from a distance because my sanity is worth more than my toxic relationship with you. So I want Kiki to fully understand, learn how to love herself, put her sobriety and her family first, and let these people go for now if you have to. I really believe in reconciliation if that's, what we can do. But if we're not there yet, I'll accept that where we are and then step away for a while. The last thing I want to say is I'm really, really tired of people not holding Tisha responsible for her childish, in my opinion, behavior. When I watched the show twice. She was acting like a child, in my opinion. And I don't condone the water in the face, but she absolutely was acting like a child. There's absolutely no way you're going to speak to my husband and me not say something about that. That was totally childish. So yeah, but I had a whole lot to say, but we've been here for a while, so I know other people want to speak. But I just want people to start holding Tisha responsible. I wouldn't tell her anything about her marriage. If she called me and asked me something, I wouldn't have a word to say. I'd be like, I'll pray for you guys. That would be all I would have for her. I really do think that Kiki was trying to find out information to try to help her, to try to prove herself, all of that. It's not worth it. They're married. Let them do their thing. Um, if he cheats and she's still there, that's their business at this point. I honestly, I don't even care about them in their marriage right now. I'm done with them. I want OWN to they're missing an opportunity for Kiki to tell her true story and to be able to help others. To me, this is about drama now. It's not about business anymore. Helping the community, inspiring inspiring our race with these couples that are out here doing power things. To me, it's just drama. It
Can I
literally is drama.
Can I say this? It's always been about drama because
Mm.
we keep trying to, we're 6 seasons in, we keep trying to make this show something that it's never been.
Yep.
It's never about the community.
Yeah.
Never about business. It started off with Melody and Martell and their divorce. Melody said that she
Mhm.
wanted to be 100% honest about where she was when she started the show. They
Right.
were already a broken friendship group and a broken relationship. That's how it started, and that's the story we've been following. We
Right.
keep trying to make it something else, and that's, I think that's also the reason why we have such a hard time with watching the show as it is right now.
I agree. And that is to the point now where I honestly don't want to watch anymore.
Okay.
I actually enjoy listening to the content creators more
Okay.
than I watch it to
It's not a
seeing the
horrible
show.
It's not a horrible show. It does not
Mhm.
like people in a bad light.
Right.
Honestly, we have a hard time watching our problems. And
Mhm.
because we have a hard time watching our problems, we put it on everybody else to put this magical Negro before us on television.
Mhm.
There's no such thing. We have to be okay with being human. We literally, every place we go, we have to be 100 times better than everybody else. These people came on a TV show and they presented themselves as real people with real problems. And I think that's okay because there's a group of younger people under us who does not follow the generation, the
Right.
1 or 2 generations before us, they don't even want to listen to us because they're tired of the pretend game. And
Right.
if y'all haven't been paying attention to that, they're like, I don't give a shit what
Exactly.
y'all do. And it's sad to me because I'm always looking at it like, well, damn, there's such a generation gap between the younger Black people and the older ones. And it's literally because they don't want to fight. They don't want to fight the fight the way we fought it. We
Right.
like to hide it. We like to hide our problems and present ourselves in a certain way. And they just don't care. They just don't care. And it's the reason why when we see like a Cardi B with a
Mhm.
tampon string hanging between her legs, there's a younger
Mhm.
generation who's like, so what? It's no big deal. No big deal. And I'm
Yeah,
over here like, what the
exactly.
hell?
Right. But listen, hey Diana, I mean honestly, I, what you're saying is true. I would just rather you stop lying though. Why
Okay.
is everybody lying? If you are
Right.
on there and this
Mhm.
is your reality, if it started out being okay, we're going to be these power business couples and we're going to show put Huntsville on the map. Okay, I had family who lived in Huntsville, Bessemer, Alabaster, all of those places, right? So, and that's fine, but don't lie. Like, stop lying. Because this is reality lying, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what's real anymore. So I'm like,
I
I don't
get
have to get stressed out by watching a television show. I literally could turn that off. I'm
and
not entertaining.
I
So
get
yeah, we'll see what happens. And yeah, I support Mel, but I bought her product, so I'm still supporting her. But anyway, I'm
okay.
going to drop down so everybody else can get up.
Love
But I
you.
appreciate you for letting me all come up, and I cannot wait to hear what Auntie Maritha has to say. So I'm gone. All right, have a great day, ladies.
Deborah,
Bye.
thank you. I
Bye bye.
hope you come back.
I
Okay.
will.
Okay, good. Okay, so anywho, I just want to this platform is called DYANAROZAY, Real Talk. Okay. One of the things I just want to make sure is we have to just remember that it was just a fractured group trying to see if they can move forward with certain things. But the show isn't about teaching us about business. I don't think it's ever been that. And so it kind of, I don't know. I just want to make sure that we can talk about it and the reality that we see. Okay, let's see. I think Maritha is next. What is up, Miss Maritha? Oh,
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
hey,
You
honey.
know, first off, Diana, I want to agree with you. We don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know. So we speculate, but we see a lot of stuff and we still speculate on that. And
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing for me is like with Tisha, this is just my opinion. Nothing that has transpired, I don't believe Tisha didn't know about it. I
Okay.
think Tisha knew about everything. And the threesome, I believe it. And I
Mm,
believe Tisha knew about it.
okay.
And what's going on with Kiki when the caller said what she said to Kiki last night, it might be the way that she delivered. I dropped down and left the channel. So I didn't see it, but I have been hearing about it. And sometimes we don't want to hear the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to face the truth. We don't want to hear the truth. I am a recovered addict. And in my journey, I worked the 12 steps and I let the 12 steps work for me. And in one of those 12 steps, it tells you to make amends with the people that you've hurt. But it also says when you can't, you leave it alone
Mm-hmm.
because you are more important. I can only ask you to forgive me, and that's all I can do. And it's like it's in your court now. You can either forgive me or not forgive me. And what all of Dawn was saying, I've been through it. I've been through a lot in my 66 years. I've been recovering, and I said it. It's over 25, going into 30 some years. And when I look back at it, I look at the people that I did hurt. I look at the things that I did and the things that I said to the people that I hurted. And when I decided that I wanted to be clean, I wanted to be whole. And when I decided that, I thought everybody would just accept that, and they wouldn't.
Right.
You know, yes, it was thrown up in
That-
my face. You junkie, you dope addict, you this, you that, and you ain't about nothing, and you ain't gonna never be about nothing. Those words hurted me, but I understood where those words was coming from. I was strong enough to handle it because I knew what I had did to these people. But my attitude wasn't like, you know, getting upset or getting angry. My attitude was like hurt. And my counselor,
So first,
my
Maria,
counselor, huh?
let me ask you a question before you go further. So I just want to make sure, because again, sometimes we are asking for something different that is not true to what is actually happening in real life. Because I had made this conversation. When you are a person who is coming, like you said, trying to get to your place of your sobriety, do you not have hurdles with family and friends, people who just don't want to believe that you are on the right, that you're on the right path, that you're doing correct? That's what you just said, right?
Yep.
That's a real part of
You know, for me, Diana and Chad, it didn't matter what the people said. It was my family that I really wanted to make amends with. The people, what they were talking about and saying about me, it did not matter.
But your
what
family is the one that was still giving
my
you shit.
family was the one that hurted me the most because they didn't believe me. And I understood that. I was ready for that. But you know, to constantly call me dope addict, dope fiend, you ain't about ish, and you ain't gonna never be about ish, and you're gonna always be a dope addict, and look what you doing to your children, and look how you treating your children. My kids were good, you know, they wasn't good, but my kids was taken care of. And in my mind, I was a functioning addict, but I wasn't. And it
Maurice,
hurted.
let me ask you another question, because these comments are coming in because everybody keeps asking the same questions, but the journey is typically the same for everybody who is trying to recover from something, and they have to go back to that family unit who watched them at their lowest point. Why you keep trying to prove something to them after you walked away, after you get yourself healthy, or you're on the journey to try to get yourself healthy, which can take years, and you are at your lowest and most vulnerable? Why did you keep trying to prove something to them after they heard
Because you know what? Because that was family. And I'm the only child. I saw
Me
what it did
too.
to my
Me
mom.
too.
I saw what it did to my mom. I saw my mom go into deep depression. I saw what it was doing to my children.
Maurice, I'm
And,
sorry.
and I just, you know, it just hurted me. And Diana, I tell you, I wanted it to be right and I wanted to do right. But when I found out that I could not please these people, and you know, I had a sponsor, and every now and then I would go to meetings. And when I decided that I was going to do this, I'm going to do it. Regardless of what I got to go through, I am going to do it. And when I went to my sponsor, and my sponsor said, Maritha, he said, remember what we talked about in some meetings? He said, sometimes you got to let go of the people, the places, and the things. He said, and the most that you have to let go in order for you to grow. He said, you're not going to want to let go of these people because this is family. And he said, but if they're going to make you feel how you're feeling, make you feel like, okay, I might as well go on back out there and do it. Everybody say I'm this, so they calling me this, so I might as well do it. Because that's how my attitude was. You can't call me something. And, you know, I said, well, if you're saying it, then I'm just going to go ahead and do it. That's how my attitude was set up. But he said, no, that's not how we going to do this. He said, let go of the people that's pushing you away. For your sobriety, you're going to have to walk away. You're going to have to stop playing with the same people. You're going to have to stop going to the same places. And he said, and I said, my family though, it's my family. He said, Maritha, that's going to be the hardest walk you're going to ever have to walk. And that's away from family members.
And
when he said that, yes.
I'm going to say this too. Maritha and LaDawn when you leave that clinic, what do they, the first thing they tell you when you guys are there, and I'm saying this as someone who was the daughter of a alcoholic who had to go into a clinic and get sobriety, my daddy, but doing that 12-step program, you get put in the same environment that you were when you left that program, right?
Yes.
And so all
Most
of
of the
those,
time.
Yeah.
most of the
But you
all
know
of
what?
those people saw you when you were at your lowest point. Those are the memories they still hold in their head of you. And you want to show them that you're different because you know that you hurt them. So you want to
Yeah.
make sure that they
I'm
get
better now. I'm for real this time.
But you know, I'm where LaDon is, and you know, it took me a while. And I was talking to Mildred about this morning. I did not know how to be. I did not know how to act because I was trying to please everybody, and I was hurting myself.
You
And
are.
my attitude became they said, you know, I never had a messed up attitude or you know, I was a rebel, I was a prodigal child, but my attitude wasn't nasty, you know. But when I became clean, because I got so tired of trying to explain, I got so tired of begging, look, I'm good, I'm clean, I'm doing this. I got a job, and when I got a job, I would be so scared that I would go back and, you know, buy drugs. I would spend all my money on my kids, buying my kids. And if it wasn't, my daughter was in the, sixth, seventh grade, and she said, Ma, look, you did what you did. You can't buy me. You cannot buy, you know, you can't buy me and my brother. Just be there for us and do the best that you can. When I found the strength and my daughter told me that, that's when I became strong. That's when I walked away from my family. That's when I made the decision. I'm not explaining myself no more. I'm not finna get upset because you don't believe me. It don't matter if you don't believe me. I'm walking this journey. I ain't got, as of now, I don't have, and I said this to my mom, and because you need to do this, and you need to do that. And my aunt, you need to get yourself together, girl, because this is what you doing. This just, look what you doing to your mama. Hold up, wait a minute. No disrespect, auntie. I'm an adult. I'm grown just like you grown right now. And I'm not explaining nothing to y'all no more. I ain't trying to prove nothing to y'all no more.
Right.
I am done. You believe what you want to believe.
Right.
And it took years for me to rebuild back with my family. It took years. But you know what? I let them know I'm not trying to prove nothing to y'all anymore. But by the grace of God, it was God that took me through it, and it was God that brought me through it. So
Maurice,
mm-hmm.
You are 100% correct. Everything that you said, it sums it up perfectly. It's going to take years. It's not an overnight cure.
No.
At this point, there's people who loved you, who put everything in you and tried to see you okay, tried to talk to you, all of those things. And then when they felt like they had to give up to save themselves, remember there was a conversation Nene Leakes had not too long ago about her son when she said he gonna stay in jail. I'm not bailing him out because I can't do it anymore. We've talked to him, we put him in clinics, we've put all kinds of money and resources at it. This is not where he want to be. Now when you got yourself to a place of where you want it to be okay, you want your family to see you okay. And that's a journey that they're gonna have to figure out on their own. But you can't mess your sobriety up for your family.
And you know what? I didn't. You know what, my mom, what I felt like on my journey getting myself clean, and I'm just telling this story. It was one, and I never forget this. It was a Friday night, and I was in the garage ironing for me and my kids. We were going to see this play. And my mom walked in the garage and she said, this the last weekend you're gonna live in my house. You got to be out of my house. Monday, you no longer live here. that put me in such a tailspin because now I'm worrying about how am I going to make it. I got my children. I'm trying to do this. And I felt like I wasn't at my lowest. I was getting up from my lowest. And you see, I'm trying, but you gonna knock me down, and you might put me in a place that I might go back out there and do the things that I used to do. And it might be detrimental this time. I might not come back this time. And while I was in that garage ironing, I was crying and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I was trying to hold it together. And that night I went on with my kids to this plate. I said nothing to them. I said nothing to nobody. And I talked to God. And I said, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't know what I'm going to do. But that night when I was at that performing arts center, one of the members of the church that I joined, she was over the housing projects. And she said, Maurice, I've been trying to call you because I got an apartment for you if you want it. And I said, look at God. Look at God. But you know what? I didn't have no money to move into the apartment. I had nothing. So that week, that Monday, me and my children had to be out. And it was just by the grace of God. The kids was out of school for that week. I had nothing. I didn't know what to do. And the Spirit dropped on me. He said, Maritha, that all them gold chains and all those gold bracelets and all those gold earrings that you got, take them to the pawn shop. Me and my kids was from 2 days we'll stay in this hotel, 2 days we'll stay in that hotel. And I called a friend. I said, I got an apartment, but I don't have the money to move in because I'm trying to have somewhere for me and my kids to live. He said, what's a deposit? And this way back when the deposit won, but $200. He said, all right, Marie, come outside. I got it.
Maurice?
Yes.
No, I was just saying, okay, I understand you, honey. I know how that works. And you got
me and my kids moved into that apartment. We had nothing. This was the saying for me and my kids. I got you. Me and my daughter I used to say this to my daughter all the time. I got you, you got me, and we got each other. And when I had my son, my daughter said, well, Mama, you got me, you got Hakeem, and we got each other. And that's the way me and my kids worked it. And after that, my attitude was, look, my behind is my buttocks, that's behind me. I don't walk looking back. I walk looking forward. Now, if you want to remember when, you do that. But you're not going to bring that back to me. You're not going to do that to me. I'm not going to allow, and I don't allow anyone, not family members, not people who say when I see people in the street and they go, oh, Maritha, girl, you still look the same. And I just say, that's a lie, but okay, I'm going to take it. Girl, I remember when I said, look, sweetheart, we ain't going back there. I said, I'm moving forward. Come on and join me or get back behind me.
And you are a true testimony of what sobriety looks like. You are a true testimony.
So that's why I said, KeKe, she love her cousin, and I understand that.
But here's
sometimes you gotta let it
go. She is still in the early stages of her sobriety. That is why she goes to the clinic. She's still in those early stages. She's getting tested every month. She's still in the early stages. So other people's memories may be still a little close, but it doesn't stop her from feeling like she needs to. What you guys are saying is true, but she's not that far behind. Her rearview mirror, the picture that she's looking at is still really close. We have to keep that in mind too.
And Diana, that's where my understanding come in. Where I don't condone KeKe want to have that relationship with her family, especially with Tisha, because in her mind, her and Tisha grew up. They were always like oil and water, but they always some kind of way made it back together. They always got it back together. However, whatever feelings Tisha is feeling, KeKe got to allow Tisha to feel those feelings, because this is what she's feeling.
You're right.
This is what she's feeling.
I'm gonna end it on that one, Maritha. I'm gonna end it there because we got two other people. But everything that you're saying is right. Everything that you're saying is right. And everybody who feels something about it is right too. Because at the end of the day, y'all, straight up, The show, everything y'all been asking the show to do, to evoke emotion, conversation, having people research things and look things up. I looked up whether or not you could get test positive for methadone yesterday. I don't know nothing about it. I looked it up yesterday on the website and told you guys about it, and said she could have still taken a test and it would not have shown the methadone if it was a simple urine test. But anywho, I have people dropping down because they're probably at
Yeah,
work.
thank you for allowing me to come up, and I'll drop down some more people to come up.
You're always welcome, and I appreciate you sharing so much about your journey. Okay.
Love you,
Thank you.
Marisa.
Love you more, LaDon.
Okay, you guys are amazing. I love when you guys come up and tell us your personal journey. Seriously, it helps a lot of people. And I know there's people who's been on the other side of this who, watch people that you love, fight addiction. That journey is hard too. There's two people that go through this, the actual person using and the people that love them every single time. Okay, let me see. Who did I miss? I think Faith and Substance.
Yes, can you hear me better?
You are better. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, great. It was, yeah, I don't even know where to begin now because it was so much and, so much to unpack. And I do appreciate all of the comments that I've heard so far. And just want to kind of give a little cliff notes of how I feel about Kiki's interview and just kind of her overall journey from what I've seen the last couple of seasons. And I do understand how disheartening it is when you have such a disconnect with a close family member. But you have to understand that there's so much history between them, between Tisha and Miss Wanda Marsau. There's so much history between them that, again, like we all said, we all agreed that we don't even know about. There's so much that has to be, there's so much digging in there. So, but my thing is that even though I appreciate Kiki's transparency during that interview, she was very open and she was saying how much she loves her family and she wants it to work at some point. But it takes work. It takes time and effort, and it takes consistency at that, because you can't say on one hand that you love your family and on the other hand, you name calling and throwing drinks at them and your actions doesn't match your intention. So it kind of tarnishes what your intentions truly is. And I do understand people might say, oh, you can't, you can't antagonize this person. You can't poke the bear. But at the end of the day, if Tisha ignored her, that was her choice. And it wasn't warranted. Her reaction was not warranted. So I'm glad that KeKe was able to accept responsibility for that. And I think she needs to accept responsibility overall, because it just seems like to me during that interview, she did not do a great job in accountability. She was saying that, I don't even know why I'm being treated this way. I don't know why they keep making me the bad guy. I don't know why. So it was just like, to me, she was given more of the victim mentality at that time, even though she did take into accountability about how she tends to be aggressive and she, has a temper. And so I'm glad that she was able to take ownership of that, but it's so much more of a part that she has to play in this, and she has to own that. And I don't think she's ready for that yet. And I guess that's part of her journey, because I think the journey to recovery is to go through those steps and eventually making amends and eventually, hopefully, being able to at least hash things out with her family members. And even after the fact that she does all those things and she does all the work and it's still not meant for them to be in that space again, that's okay too. And we all got to be okay with that. But in the meantime, she has to own more of her stake in this. And I don't think she's done that yet. That's just my observation from the outside looking in. And now, don't get me wrong. There's some irritating things about Tisha and Marsau. Trust and believe that. But no one is innocent here. No one. Right. Everyone had their role in this, between KeKe indulging in situations in the marriage, even though she agreed not to. So even if all of those rumors were presented to her, I think that she should have been like, okay, you know what? I'm not in this. This is my cousin. We are trying to work on our relationship, and I don't want to indulge in anything that's going to set us back. And then on the other hand, don't discuss the marriage, and they need not to discuss her drug addiction and throw that up in her face. So
Right.
it starts there. It starts there. Whatever those triggers are, stop that. Stop
Faith and
engaging.
Faith and substance.
Stop indulging in those.
Hold on,
Okay, so it starts there. That's the foundation right there.
Faith and substance. I'm sorry. Let me stop you 1 second. You hit the nail on the head. The sore spot for Tisha is her marriage. Whether people want her to look at it, this way or that way, her sore spot is her marriage. The sore spot for KeKe right now is her sobriety. So we had two people who literally just bumped heads on the truth at this point. Because KeKe is doing exactly what Tisha can't stand. Look at your man and figure out what the hell he's doing and stop blaming everybody else. And then Tisha did the same with KeKe's sobriety. I know you to be this person. I've seen you steal my medicine. I know what type of shit you can do or say when you're trying to get to someplace, like wanting to call her a liar. And she played that card. So they both did the same thing to each other. Okay, sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to talk over. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I don't want to dominate the conversation. So I thank you for that, because it's so true. Because you have to understand also, because we all have, most of us have family members who dealt with addiction. And like you said, you have to understand that there were people around them that was affected as well, because when she was mentioned about Amin being there for her, and I could imagine, because even with her being the aggressive person that she is, and I've seen, and we kind of got a hint of what Amin will have to go through, because KeKe is a lot. I could see that for firsthand. KeKe could be a lot. So I could imagine in that altered state, how much of a challenge it was to kind of keep her in alignment. And so you have to understand, sometimes when you in that space, in that altered state, you burn so many bridges with people. You had said and done some hurtful things to people, even when Tisha mentioned about her being pregnant and she said, F you and your baby. So things like that, like there's things that you just can't move away from so quick, fast, and hurry. There's so many damaging things. So when people say words can never hurt me, that's a lie.
Right.
And so KeKe has to understand that there's work that needs to be done to repair those things. And I'm sure that they had said that did some horrible things to each other, because we saw it play out. But I'm sure that there was so much more toxic things that happened behind the scenes that we don't know about. And so you have to understand that too, that you have to work on not only taking accountability, but working towards earning that person's forgiveness, working towards being on that spiritual path. Because without God, you have to add him to the mix as well, because you've said, I'm sure, like I said, throughout the time that she was in that space, KeKe, I'm sure she said, like I said before, she must have said and done some damaging things to some people that she needs time and space for them to forgive them for. And she has to show and prove. She got to show improvement. The proof is in the pudding. You have to be consistent in your behavior. Like I said before, your behavior has to align with what your intentions are, because you haven't done the work yet.
Faith and substance. You're
I'm
right.
sorry.
That's okay. Everything you said is correct. And she's been very honest in saying that there's a lot of things that she has not told people that she's done. This is something she's literally said on the platform. I had my ears completely open. There's things I've never told people I'd done when I was on the stuff, because it's too shameful for me. So there's a lot of things that she has to go through. I do want to say this, because a lot of people are saying that production should be doing more to get her help.
I had something to say about that.
Let me mute you for 1 second. People are saying that production should have done more to get her help. Really quickly, KeKe is in rehab voluntarily. She's communicated that and shared that with everybody. She has a mother, she has a husband, she has children, she has grandparents that love her. She has a family, a whole village of people that help her. I think that we put too much on them when they literally are coming to us as people with many things. Melody has a village of people that helps her, loving people that help her. KeKe has also said that she has loving people that help her. we have to also remember that they're adults with families. They're adults who decided to bring their story to the show. So just a FYI. Okay, I'm gonna let you wrap up, and then I'm gonna get to the last person. I'm gonna have Journey to Better You. You're gonna close this out, but I'm gonna give you the last 1 more minute, Faith is Substance, to share.
Okay, thank you. Yes, but I was going to I have a response for that, because first of all, it's not production's responsibility to do this because these are all adults that signed up for this. And I really commend KeKe for being courageous enough to make the decision to put her addiction out there in the forefront. But from the outside looking in, these you make yourself public, and so you're gonna have to be on the receiving end of a lot of scrutiny, as well as the praise, as well as the encouraging words. So I really, bless on her journey. May God bless her on her journey, as well as everybody else's journey. Tisha, Marsau, whoever's involved, they all individually needs to work on themselves, and then we work down the line collectively. So thank you so much for allowing me the space to speak, Diana.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Come back, okay?
All right, I will.
Okay. And then I have Journey to a Better You. How are you?
Good. I'm good, Diana. Thank you for allowing me on your platform.
No
so
problem.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with anyone that feels that KeKe has not taken accountability.
Okay.
I did look at the interview earlier. And first, what we're seeing in KeKe, from my standpoint, everything is my own opinion, is alleged, and all this other kind of stuff that y'all normally say. But from my standpoint, we're looking at somebody that has not forgiven herself totally. As Miss Maritha said, and I'm the daughter of an addict, so I was always on the receiving end. But from Miss Maritha's standpoint, when she was talking about how she knew the people that she hurt, and the people she wanted to get acceptance from the most was the people that she hurt that was closest to her, which was her family. So I'm going to say a lot of times people are referring to a lot of things that KeKe has done in her past. When a person is in an addicted state, unfortunately, there are some things that you're going to expect, some behaviors you're going to expect from them in their past. But what we need to look at right now with the show is, what is she exhibiting to you now? Yes, we know that you were hurt, but they're referring to things in her past as if they were her present.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that I don't like. And I'm going to just say this. I might fall out with my family member, but there is no way in hell that I'm going to let my husband go in on my family member like that. I may not like my husband's sibling. Unless we get into some altercation together, that's different. But I'm not going to sit there and be quiet and allow my husband to drag my family member. That is just not going to happen. You didn't do it when Stormy was calling your husband all of these expletives, but you did it with, you allowed him to do it to your cousin. Like, my issue with my cousin and my husband's issue with my cousin are probably two different things, but I'm just not gonna let that happen. So I didn't like that at the barbecue they were having, how Tisha was just quiet, and she said, no, I know that she's still on drugs. So since you know, why don't you tell us? Why are you allowing your husband to drag her on things that happened in her past as if they're still happening now? Anybody in a situation like for KeKe, she has always rode for Tisha. When you think about when KeKe talked about how when they were in school, how she gave her all of these resources, how she was the person that even told her about getting her speech together. She took ownership of being that big cousin for her. So she's not have forgiven herself totally for what seems to be like a fall from grace. And I believe, just from the stuff that they put out themselves, that Tisha has always ran to KeKe to help her in certain areas. When she said the things she did when she didn't have a boyfriend, other things that she did for Tisha. When the picture came out about the midday work surprise, she went to KeKe to help her investigate, who is this girl sending my husband this naked picture? She went to KeKe. So KeKe has always been that person for her. I was very
100%.
I wasn't shocked but I was hoping I was going to be proven wrong when KeKe said that she had told Tisha previously, let me get to the bottom of this. So at the barbecue, Tisha acted as if she didn't even know KeKe was going to ask these people these questions when she totally did. But in front of her husband, it's a totally different story. So that I was like, you're making her out to be the bad person. I don't like the narrative that they were running with, or that Tisha was running with, saying, if you lie, you steal, you kill. She's trying to make it seem like, oh, she's unhinged and she's dangerous. She's so jealous of me. She may harm me. I don't like that. I think that the Scotts have gotten together, and KeKe needs to get off of this show. We're going to ruin her so she can get off of this show.
Why do you think that she should get off the show? Tell me that.
She's saying the Scotts want her off.
No,
right?
not me. I don't think that. I think I don't think that at all. I think that KeKe has star power, to be honest. That could blow the Scotts out of the water. I think that her, like someone else said, they are really doing a disservice by not taking this lady's story. I'm a nurse by trade, and I can tell you that you can go to a doctor, a dentist, a pharmacist, a nurse. There are so many functioning addicts that are taking opioids that you see every day for your well-being.
Listen, every single day, and in every single profession, and professions
right.
you don't even want to believe, from doctors to lawyers to the judge sitting there making a decision over your case.
Right.
If y'all knew
that on opioids,
the opioids and every other thing, if y'all
and
knew,
especially in the Black community.
In the Black community, but I'm gonna tell you right now, because I've sat beside these people, white people that we give all the leniency and grace to, who literally will walk from one room into a room, in your room, and give you advice and tell you who to be in the world, and you take it. I'm telling you now, they can go pretty low. Okay.
Yes.
Where do you think we get it from anyway? So at the end of the day, we have to give ourselves grace too.
Right.
We have the same problems, and ours is worse, but we expect to, walk through life and do nothing. That's just not how it happens. But I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. Go ahead.
I also think that when I said that KeKe has to forgive herself, what she's doing is looking for acceptance from the people that she hurt. And sometimes I remember, sometimes you have to be okay with not getting an apology from somebody. You have to be able to move on, in a sense that she's telling somebody, I'm sorry for, what I did in my past, but right now I'm trying to make it up. She's trying to make it up now by being loyal to Tisha, but she can't see the forest for the trees, that Tisha is not loyal to her. One of the things you also have to do is you have to watch your weakness. People will use your weakness against you. KeKe said on the show, I wear my heart on my sleeve. All they have to do is tell me I'm sorry, I love them. No, it's not easy to stop loving your family. It's not easy. However, you have to prioritize yourself. When you have a weakness that where people are like, you know what? I could do whatever I want to do to that person. You're telling somebody you can abuse me, use me, whatever, and just come back and tell me you're sorry and I'm going to accept that. No, F that. We're not doing that, because another thing you said, KeKe's her sore point is her sobriety, and Tisha's is her marriage. The only difference between those two is Tisha has gone to KeKe to help her investigate things about her marriage, but Tisha is letting her husband attack her sobriety. Tisha's not really attacking KeKe's sobriety. She may say something here or there, but she's letting her husband go to the gutter to attack. And now, me personally, when he said he picked her up at 2 a.m. in the morning, if she was out there at 2 a.m. in the morning, maybe she saw you doing something that you wasn't supposed to be doing as well. Even though KeKe on the interview said that was because her and her husband got into it. And being an addict, there are a lot of things that you do that you may not be proud of. And that may have brought her into a circle that she saw Marsau doing something that he didn't want anybody to know. He goes way too hard on her to be just defending his wife when his wife has a whole mouth and that's her cousin.
Well, what did Tiffany say? Tiffany said, if Marsau's in it, there got to be some truth in it, especially if he's defending his wife, because we all know he doesn't do that.
That is correct.
Listen, everything you guys are saying, literally, it is showing up on the show exactly as you're saying it. You just hate Tisha.
Diana, why you trying to get them people mad? Keep showing that video. You trying to get the people mad. You messing with the house, girl.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, this is all I can hear is that damn theme song. I'm
Yeah.
missing you. Every time y'all talking, I'll be like, oh, she misses her cousin at the end of the day, child.
Yeah.
Listen, but everything that you said, I remember when Tiffany made that comment, I was like, oh, damn. They still letting us know there may not be some truth in this. And now that Anthony has let us know there is even more to this story that they are literally debating, sharing how this is going to be released, it makes complete and total sense. We're 6 episodes in. We still got a lot more episodes to go. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are amazing though. I love it.
And that's really all I had to say. I do think that KeKe has a great story. I hope that she comes out on top, and I hope that she sticks to her guns. I don't like the narrative of everybody ganging up on her. I'm not a Stormy fan, but I'm going to say that when Stormy said on an interview, why do you have to keep, bashing her with that when you know that she's going through something? It's because they are trying to drive her back in that direction so they could say, see, I told you so. I told you she was still on drugs. I'm sick of Kimmi and her husband. I ain't like how she tried to drive off on Mel. I did see that in that car when Mel went up to her Jeep. I'm sick of them too because they don't have a storyline. Like, let's get back to talking about some business. If we're not going to bring in her sobriety unless we're talking about something where it can go in a positive direction, let's stop talking about this infidelity, because at the end of the day, Tisha know that her husband stepped out. They just don't want to bring it to the platform, and we're fine with that. Leave her and her husband alone, child. Let him cheat in peace, and let's get back to some businesses. I ain't gonna even get on Martell right now because I know that's not what y'all talking about today, but that's a whole nother story that I have something to do. So I'll stay tuned in. Thank you for letting me say my piece. I appreciate it.
I love you. Come back.
All right.
Thank you so much for sharing your opinion. And
You're welcome.
But Don, did you have
Ciao,
anything?
Diana.
Huh?
No, I just agree with everything. It's been a good show, good viewpoints. I see both sides. The only thing I will say is KeKe ain't the only one that needs to make amends and do the work. Tisha and them have to do the work too. And there are just different characters and families. There's some evil ones and there's some forgiving ones. And KeKe's on the forgiving side and the more, loving side of it. And her cousin's just evil. So it's going to take her a little more time. But they both said things and did things to each other. They both got some weaknesses, so they both need individual help and then maybe come together.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys coming up. This has been a great conversation. I enjoyed every second of it. Thank you to everybody who came up and shared their testimony. I know that's hard, and you guys are helping people every time you come up and talk. I know that for a fact. People come to my platform and they will share things with me like, I really appreciate it. This person saying X, Y, and Z. So I know that they appreciate it. You guys are amazing in sharing that. Thank you to the chat because y'all kept it bumping over there. I have to go back and read through a lot of things. Thank you to all the content creators who came in and they are, talking to y'all, sharing in the chat as well. Of course, thank you to Anthony Lofties for coming in and stepping up on the panel and giving us some clarity to some things, and also dropping a little bit of tea about being more information being out there about this situation that we don't know and we may find out later. I appreciate you for showing up for me today. And then, of course, thank you always to my moderators. I don't say this enough. Thank you to all of my moderators, both on my Facebook group at DYANAROZAY Real Chat, or Real Talk, not Real Chat, DYANAROZAY Real Talk, and all of the moderators here on the Facebook page. If you are a moderator and I do not have your IG information already, because, I talked to a lot of you already, but if you do not talk to me on IG, please come over, hit me up over there, because I want to make sure that I gift you guys for Christmas, give y'all a little something. So some of you have come over already. I haven't seen everybody, so make sure that you come over. What else do I have to say? I think that's it. We'll do it again. Okay. I love all of y'all. So thank y'all for showing up for me all the time. Okay. And for being just an amazing panel and chat. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.